doing a video game handheld console pickup and a game pickup. I've been interested in getting the system for a bit. I owned it twice in the past. But I remember watching one of ASMR with Beck's videos related, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to spoil what it is, on this handheld. And I commented, I think I was like, yeah, I really got to get another one of those. And that was like 2 years ago. I'm like, I won't get that. I've been thinking about it for a little over, maybe about 2 weeks. Got it from eBay. It was 85 and change. I'll show you what it came with. But they shipped the wrong charger. So they had to ship out the actual charger. I got to ship this one back. So they gave a partial refund of 10 and change. So the shipping probably $5. So at the end of the day, probably about $79 to $80 I ended up paying, which is good. But it did come with a carrying case, which is cool. And it is the PSP. This is the first model, the fat one. It's in pretty good shape. It did not have a battery. I knew that. So I was going to eventually get a battery, but then when they said they put the wrong charger in there, I was like, great, I got to wait to get that charger. Now I think the charger's either coming tomorrow or, yes. This is filmed on Wednesday. Going up Wednesday, so I should maybe be getting it Wednesday or Thursday. But it was funny because I was looking on Amazon. This was $11, and I got another charger with it, which I wanted, but it's a USB charger, not a wall charger. But they said, the battery fits, but you can't fit the battery cover over it. I was like, you know what, whatever. A few of the reviews said that, but it was cheap, and it fits in there fine. Eventually I'll probably get another, maybe official Sony battery to put in there. Screen does have scratches on it and some other stuff, but it's pretty solid. The disc, the UMD tray, doesn't fully close, so if it closes enough, obviously it works. I was playing a game on it earlier, but it works fine. All the buttons work fine. I always felt these were a little fragile when I had them back in the day, and I think I had the later model ones, because I got my first one in 2007, and then my second in 2015. I think they were the 3000 models. It was a 1, 2, and 3. This is a 1. But I like the look. It has a nice sleek design, the PSP, but it always felt a little fragile. I don't know. I was always like, oh no, it's going to break. But this one's in fairly good shape. Oh, there's also I think it's a 1 gig. Yeah, 1 gig memory stick Pro Duo in there. Which I don't think matters now, because I don't think you can download the games anymore right off the PlayStation Store. Didn't they get rid of that? Because I downloaded Valkyria Chronicles 2 on the Vita, because you can download some of the PSP games, but I thought they were getting rid of that. I thought they had said something was going to happen where you couldn't do it anymore, and this was a while back. Because I picked that up. I picked the Jack and Daxter collection up. I want to say, yeah, that has to use a different, because I have Corpse Party on there too. These are region free, which is nice, the PSP, so if I want to I have to look what Japanese games are playable in English, or have an English setting, or just playable in general. It doesn't matter the language. Maybe pick some up there for a little bit cheaper, but always was a nice little system, when I had it back then. It did come, like I said, with a carrying case. It's got 2 games and a movie. And these things were fragile too. This one actually is broken, but it does fit in the thing. Because I did test these games. I have not tested myself, but SOCOM, Navy SEALs, Fire Team Bravo. And you get the little controller to tell you it's a game. Here's the movie Hostel Part 2. Unrated. And you get the film reel for the movie. I'll probably never watch that. And this is NBA 05, I think, or whatever they wanted to call it. It was Sony's NBA games. I do have, and I thought this was MLB The Show. I don't know why. When I saw the thing, I don't know if I'll mess with those games anyway, but maybe the NBA one. But I do actually have an MLB game, one of the shows, and I have Juiced that I'd gotten at that G sale last year, and I sold. I think it was Tony Hawk's Project 8 or something. And it was. I knew it was the wrong. It was Juiced was in there. It was a different case. But I have that, so I do have a couple of the games, but they're in a box. So I'll have to get them in North Carolina. And the other game I picked up actually came first, and I've been playing some of it. It's actually really cool. Prince of Persia: The Forgotten Sands. I had played this on the 360, I believe. It might have been the last, at that time, 3D Prince of Persia, right? I know Lost Crown is a 2D one. They didn't make any ones after that, did they? Did they ever make that remake of the original? Well, not the original, the Sands of Time, the one that was on the PS2, Xbox, and GameCube. Did they ever remake that one? Prince of Persia's been around since the 80s. But this one's 2D, so it's different than the console counterpart. And it's pretty cool. I was playing a good amount of it. I played the first 2 levels. You're doing all the Prince of Persia stuff, wall run, jumping up a pole, jumping, bouncing off beams and stuff. You're using some of the time effect type stuff in there as well. You'd use the D-pad to run, not the nub. You do use that little thing for some of the manipulation of stuff in the environment. But it's pretty cool. That's manual there, which is nice. Like I said, it's pretty fun. It looks pretty good too. Looks like a PS2 game. That's what this PSP was, pretty much a pocket PS2, and the Vita was essentially a pocket PS3. But I've been having fun with this one so far. This one was 18 and change, I think, after tax. I've been looking at other games. Final Fantasy Tactics was War of the Lions. A couple of Harry Potters they had made. I think they made one for Goblet of Fire, Half-Blood Prince, and Order of the Phoenix. I was looking at Lord of the Rings Tactics, which might be the next game I pick up. I was looking at the Disgaea, because there's some strategy action on there. There's a couple of Disgaeas on there, I believe, at least 1 or 2. I think there's 2. Jeanne d'Arc, which when I first had the Vita, I don't think it was available. It wasn't out yet. The second time it wasn't. I was always looking to get it because it was like $10 new. Now it's like $50 used. The game that I used to have back in 2015, that is now like $150, is Silent Hill Shattered Memories, which was cool on the Vita. It played differently than the Wii, because the Wii used a lot of motion controls, but it was pretty good on the Vita. It came out on the PS2 as well, and that's like $150 also. So no getting that. Silent Hill Origins, which is one I had in 07, which I think it was 07 when I enjoyed that one. Maybe it was 08 even that I played it. I beat that one, and that one's only 50 used. Surprisingly, only 50. I thought that would have been over 100 as well. Then there's an obscure game on there that's well over 100. So you're still getting that survival horror game expensiveness. You got the Pursuit Force games are cool. Those are fairly cheap. A lot of cheap games on the Vita, the PSP. You can find, obviously, Silent Hill, stuff like that. Expensive, but even like the other Final Fantasies aren't overly pricey. I don't even think Crisis Core is that pricey either. And that's been remastered now, but it's a cool system. I always liked it back then. I figured, why not? Pretty good price for it. Like I said, the screen is, it's scratched up, but you can play a game fine. I knew that going in from the pictures. it's very hard to find a really, really good condition PSP at this point. You can, but there's always gonna be something that does. Oh, I already said. I said it had a memory card in there. Did I say that? It does have a 1 gigabyte memory card in there. Yes, I'm pretty sure I said that. Halfway through a vid, I'm forgetting things. It's a cool little thing. Like I said, I want to pick up some games. I was looking at it because finally just doing it because I'm like, well, it's fairly cheap. I wanted to get it under 100. Most of the 3000s were not. And I was like, I don't care what model it is. I don't care if the screen is slightly better or the battery life's a little better. Or because they're all old at this point, so it doesn't matter. Or if it's a little chunkier, that one's the chunkier of the 3. There's a couple other games. What else was I looking at? I was looking at, I was trying to see what wrestling games I had on there, but a couple SmackDowns versus Raw, I think. What else was I looking at? I was looking at some other stuff. What was it? They did have the one Jack game on there. Daxter I was looking at, but I'd played that back in the day. Ratchet and Clank Size. There was Secret Agent Clank, and there was also Ratchet and Clank Size Matters on there as well. So there's a lot to look for. And like I said, I'm gonna probably either go maybe Lord of the Rings Tactics or the Final Fantasy War of the Lions. But I want to go to the East End Gaming and see what they have available. There's Field Command. There's a good amount of strategy type stuff. But yeah, that's just it. There's the case, some games in there. Forgotten Sands, Prince of Persia, and the system itself. But yeah, thanks for checking us out, and have a good day.